Poised for Exit is a show for business owners who want to achieve a successful exit based on their own terms. Your business exit will likely be the biggest financial transaction of your life, and for most, you'll have one shot at doing it right. The topics and guests we feature and the stories they share will provide valuable ideas and strategies to improve operations and grow enterprise value so you can achieve the best possible exit outcome. Now here's your host, award-winning certified exit planning advisor, Julie Keys.
Welcome, everyone, to the Poised for Exit podcast show. In this episode, we're going to meet with a vice president of a prominent commercial insurance carrier who's going to show how risk management can improve your company's culture, grow its value, and assist in a smooth sale of a business. We'll hear from him right after these messages. Are you a business owner getting ready to transition? If so, I recommend True North Mergers and Acquisitions as your confidential strategic partner. They understand your business sale isn't just about one buyer and the price, but what you net that counts. In other words, what you get to keep. When you're ready for a higher level of representation that delivers consistent results, contact True North M&A to do the heavy lifting of selling your business. Learn more at tnma.com. That's tnma.com. Thinking about selling your business in the next few years? Don't wait to start planning. I've seen too many business owners wait too long and regret it. Freedom Financial Partners are financial advisors who specialize in exit planning for business owners, helping you reduce tax surprises, protect what you've built, and quantify how much you need from the sale. Their proven process helps you think beyond your business so you can move forward with clarity and confidence. The longer you wait, the fewer options you may have. Download your free financial readiness assessment today at ffpforme.com/exit. That's ffpforme.com/exit.
My name is Todd Crow, and I'm the president of the Twin Cities Exit Planning Chapter. If you're a business owner and advisor and want to learn more about the world of exit planning, you're invited to visit the Twin Cities chapter of the Exit Planning Institute. You can expect top-level education delivered by subject matter experts at every monthly meeting. Grow your network and draw from the learning that could be a game changer for your business or your practice. There's no pressure to become a member, so come and see what the buzz is all about. Our meetings are held the second Wednesday of the month, 7:30 to 9 a.m. See the show notes for more information and registration links.
Exiting your business is a big deal, both financially and emotionally. I'm John Marquet, Certified Exit Planning Advisor with TrustPoint. We help business owners transition smoothly on their terms. Our focus is on maximizing value, minimizing stress, and giving you confidence in what's next. Whether you're selling or passing the torch, we make the process seamless. Start planning today at trustpointinc.com. That's trustpointinc.com.
Hello, Poised for Exit listeners. We're here today with Shalin Johnson, who's the Vice President of Business Insurance at Marsh McLennan Agency. Shaylin, welcome back to Poised for Exit.
Well, thank you, Julie. Proud to be here.
So happy that you're here. I was just wondering, was it 2020 or 2021 when you were on the show last? It's been a while.
I think it might be right before or right around that 2020. I mean, it's just a big blur now. That was 5 years ago, but I'm just so proud of you and your platform. So it's fun to listen in on your podcast, and it's going to be an honor for me to be a part of this podcast.
I'm so glad to bring you back too. Honestly, when we talk about risk management and insurance products and how owners can implement that into their risk management strategy, it's a topic that we haven't covered enough, and it's been a while. So this is very timely. I know there are a lot of owners out there who are either thinking about a transition or in the throes of it. And so this could make a real big difference for them. But before we get into the content, I want to kind of start off like I normally do, which is tell us about you. Like, how did you get to where you are? A lot's happened since the last time you were on the show for you and me, but we don't need to talk about me. We're talking about you. And you've really grown in your practice. You're so well known at Marsh McLennan. I mean, all over, everybody knows you. So anyway, let's talk about Shaylin.
Well, thank you. I'm blessed to do what I do. I get paid to have relationships, like quality people like yourself and across all industries. But I've been doing this for over 25 years as an insurance broker. My prior career was in claims. So I went from telling people no to hearing the word no, 25 years. And I see myself as a facilitator of resources. 25 years. It started off with a company called, RJF. Then RJF got acquired by the Marsh McLennan companies. And so the Marsh McLennan Agency platform that I'm a part of now has been around for 12 years. And so I just feel blessed that I get to help companies and organizations. I'm the last of the generalists, but if you were to lay out all my clients, my time, about 70% of my time is spent in the manufacturing realm. Little
Oh,
sidebar, I'm the actual national manufacturing co-leader for Marsh McLennan Agency on a national basis. So it's
wow.
fun. Yeah, so it's fun to do what I do, and I just feel fortunate in how I got into the space, believe it or not. My first job out of high school was a assistant office manager at a company called Bob Peck Agency. So I'm just eternally grateful for Bob Peck. He's still with us, but Bob was a former insurance manager for the old Gambles Corporation, which encompassed a number of hardware stores across the Midwest,
Yeah,
as well as Red Owl stores.
yeah.
And so when that company kind of dissolved, he became the insurance guy, an insurance advisor for over, I think, 200 stores and hardware stores across the Midwest. And I got involved early on in my career, just helping organizations with claims and answering
Mm.
phones and meeting with business owners. And then I went to school at St. Cloud State University in the early 90s. And there was an insurance and risk management major at the time. So
Wow.
I've been involved in the insurance and risk management program for a number of years. So I'm very blessed.
Wow. I mean, that's what I call expertise. And I know that there are many, not only business owners in the manufacturing space, but also advisors to a lot of owners in manufacturing. So I'm really glad to have you on the show and glad to hear that you have, such a great position within your firm that focuses on that. So let's talk about risk management. You mentioned the word platform, and I'm just wondering, like, I know that, and we talked about it before the show, how important it is to have those safeguards in place. Okay. But what does that actually look like? I'm a business owner. What should my platform look like, regardless if, I'm 2 years out or 20 years out, right?
Yeah, great question, Julie. The biggest thing about the risk management process, insurance is only a piece of the pie, right? So there's, identifying risks, identifying where can you have claims, where can you be sued, and then intrinsically and externally within an organization, what steps can you do to mitigate those risks, right? So it could be as simple as avoiding a transaction or avoiding going down a particular industry or an opportunity. But more times than not, that's where the insurance mechanism comes in respects to being able to transfer that risk and putting that onto a insurance policy, right? But the biggest thing I think that insurance risk management platform provides is after the fact, it's peace of mind. But while you're doing it, it's being able to be having your thinking cap on and being proactive and trying to figure out where does my business is going, and then what can be the obstacles or the risks that my organization can face. And risk management is very important in the fact that if you have a claim that you're not expecting, by
Yeah.
default, you're basically self-insured, right? If you don't have insurance, so does your balance sheet protect you, or can your balance sheet endure
Yeah.
a unforeseen circumstance or unforeseen claim? So
Right.
that's the biggest thing with respects to insurance and in the risk management process. But the other big thing, the positive fallout, if you will, is that a strong risk management platform gives you and your organization peace of mind to move forward in your goals and objectives as an organization or as a company, right?
Yes.
You can take on a new product line. You can take on, acquire another company. You can go overseas. You can expand your operations knowing that you have all the necessary um, things in place to move forward.
Yeah, when I think about what you're just referring to in terms of the risk or an unforeseen claim sounds to me kind of like one of the 5 Ds when it comes to exit planning, right?
Right.
You're well, I'm sure, versed in those, and that would be distress, and what something like that could cause a business, to go through and, like, side blinded, right? Just like, how in the world did this happen? And right, and then they want to turn around and maybe blame their insurance person, but it's like, no, you said no to that option, right?
That's right.
Yeah,
That just to expand on the thoughts of insurance and a strong risk management and insurance program, I think the immediate value that comes about it is that, it reduces the financial loss and uncertainty, right? Just being able to know, all right, here's what we're going to be doing. If
right.
something does happen, we can do that. It enhances the decision-making process, right? You've thought out all the things your teams have thought out. So it's not just the owner, right?
Hmm.
It's the owner and its management team and the employees of that organization. So that's good. Of course, you got the regulatory compliance. There's, you know, every state and, a municipal and country, those things. But it also, I think the biggest thing, it just enhances that organization's reputation and trust, right? So when you're doing business and you're asking for, simple contractual obligations or certificate of insurance, that just having all those necessary insurance and risk management protocols and contractual obligations in place provides instant peace of mind for that business partner and investor, right? So those are the things that that immediately come out for a strong risk management program that oftentimes business owners kind of fail to remember. And I think the biggest thing that I see is just the value intrinsically in how the employees feel. You see
Yeah.
stronger employee morale go up because, hey, they got a strong safety program. This company believes in me. More importantly, this company wants me to be healthy and be here for
Mhm.
the long
And
haul. So
cares, right? They
yeah,
care. Yeah.
exactly. So
Yeah.
it's those things that the typical business owner is like, all right, I better have some safety committee in place. I better have something going because my insurance carrier is requiring me this, or it was a recommendation from my insurance agent. No, there's more value than just, a piece of paper showing you that.
Well, like you said, it really does improve the company culture. Like, we're not just talking about liability here, right? That's just a part of it. I mean, we're talking about all the different aspects of it. And so company culture, which of course, when the culture is strong, that improves the value of the business. When we're talking about, growing the company and growing the value of the business, let's speak to that point.
So the value of the business, I think, I've had a number of clients that have been fortunate to sell their organizations or their companies
Yeah.
to either private investors or private equity or merge with other companies. And when I stay connected with them, they'll always single out just the how fortunate and how grateful they are that they invested in their risk management and insurance program because
Mm,
the buyers, the new owners, will point blank tell them that they were more had peace of mind buying their company, and they were
right.
willing to maybe pay a little bit more than than the going rate or when that owner anticipated, but because they had such a strong risk management program, they felt comfortable, and when
Yes.
they felt comfortable, that comes back in higher returns, right? So, and then I think the other big thing is a strong company with a strong risk management program has strong employee morale. Um, that future acquisition company is like, wow, this I don't have to worry about spoiling the rest of the apple cart, right? Being
Yes.
able to blend organizations together, have no surprises. I mean, that's worth a lot right there, right? Just not having
Yes.
any surprises in whatnot.
That is definitely, I would think, top of mind, especially now for any buyer, whether it's a strategic buyer or a PE firm, regardless of the buyer type, just making sure that there aren't any ghosts in the closet, right? Or skeletons or whatever you want to call them. It's all Halloween related. Even though it's not Halloween time.
Exactly.
It will be
No,
soon. But
yeah,
you know
well,
what
it
I mean,
reduces,
like
yeah,
there's
it
nothing
reduces.
lurking and we don't have to that's off the table. We don't even have to worry about that. So that's not part of the conversation. You've proved to us that you've got the safeguards and yeah. Yeah, so as we talk about, let's just talk about what some of those products might look like. So, we've kind of blanketed risk management and talked about the benefits of it for the business owner, but specifically, like say for instance, you could share a client story with us and maybe what their portfolio looks like and how you help them achieve that.
So, with respects to, let's take a manufacturing company, right?
Yeah.
I've had a number of companies that have grown from 10 million in sales to over 100 million in sales.
Mm,
And we start talking about the changing of coverages, right?
mhm.
So just being able to have an insurance program that keeps up with an organization's growth is
Right.
very meaningful. You're looking at property, you're looking at liability, but it could be a different product or service that that company has been going into, right? A lot of my manufacturing clients started off as machine job shops, and 30 years later, they're contract manufacturer
Yep.
for medtech devices, right? Making
Yes.
sure that their insurance program kept up with what they truly are is meaningful. One coverage that starts become meaningful as a company grows is such things as directors, officers insurance, right? That is ensuring the Ds, the directors and officers of that company, but also protects the employees of
Hmm.
that company. So any advice that they may have done over the years, because business owners and companies can be sued as businesses as well as individuals. So
Individuals,
those are
yeah.
those are the things that come into play. Um, and your umbrella limits, your liability does not end at your policy limits.
Hmm.
So the bigger your company gets, the perception of what you're worth increases, and that perception oftentimes increases how much you get sued for. Those are the type of things that come into
Hmm.
play. But there's other coverages that have come out of the woodwork in recent years. Trade credit insurance is big right now. You basically can insure your accounts receivable with your customers, your suppliers. Those are things that just provide peace of mind. So for me as a insurance broker, I see two big responsibilities. I'm providing peace of mind for my business owners and my clients, but I'm also ensuring their balance sheet and financial statements. And last but certainly not least, my goal is to be their advocate, right? Making sure a strong insurance and risk management program uh, does very well in today's insurance marketplace, right? So insurance companies, underwriters are figuring out, all right, premium needs to match the exposure. So what amount of premium do I need to collect from this policyholder, this insured, to pay for possible claims coming out of the woodwork? So those are the things that are very meaningful that kind of carry forward throughout a company's existence.
So then, when as you talked about, it made me think of something with the manufacturing firms, especially that you work with, but with really any company, in light of the fact that so many are adopting artificial intelligence applications and, might change their processes, might change their systems, might change the way that maybe their whole business model in some situations, right? So tell us about how you assess that or how that's evolving in your world.
So artificial intelligence is not going away. It's going to get bigger, right? So
Right.
the smarter my clients' businesses become, they're using artificial intelligence, the technology increases, the risk of cyber or bad actors increases.
Hmm.
Um, Today, if a cyber hack comes in and, you know, manufacturing companies aren't immune to that, right? So
Right.
historically speaking, cyber insurance has been around for over 15 plus years, and we've always been talking about it. But rewind the clock 10 years ago, they'd say, "Hey, Shaylin, we're not a retail store. We're not collecting credit cards. We don't need to talk about that." Well, today, that
Yes.
manufacturing company has to pay attention to that because everything's tied to the computer system.
Yes.
So they get hacked, they're basically having to unplug their computers, and if they're unplugging their computers, everybody's going home, right? So those are the type of things that are playing out. But we're also seeing automation on the underwriting side. There's still actuarials people. There's still claims analysis, but today's insurance companies are protecting their balance sheet and they're capping their exposures. So we're seeing underwriters and insurance companies rely on artificial intelligence to forecast worst case scenarios, forecast, catastrophic models as pertains to hailstorms, tornadoes, hurricanes, natural disasters, right? So those are the things
Yes.
that artificial intelligence and insurance and risk management are becoming more and more prevalent.
So when we talk about today's M&A market, okay, and we kind of touched on it before, where making sure that a particular seller or sellers of a company that are going to market have got that good risk management foundation in place. And you had mentioned something about, well, we both know obviously that buyers are going to go, this makes me feel so much better. We can spend our time talking about other things, right? I don't have to worry about what's lurking in the background. Are there other situations that you've run into, or other pieces of advice that you could share with a seller when it comes to risk mitigation and risk management as they approach an M&A transaction or transition, right? It's not always an exit. Sometimes it's a acquisition. Sometimes they're buying out a partner. Sometimes their partner's buying them out. Whatever it is, I know you work with a lot of business owners and you got a lot of stories.
Well, I think the biggest one you come to mind is that, heaven forbid, somebody gets sick, gets hit by a bus, oftentimes they're thinking, oh, life is good. But then your risk management process unveils that 80% of your sales comes from one guy.
Yeah.
It could be the owner or it could be a key individual. So making sure that that individual or team is protected. It could be, hey, we're gonna have to pay these guys separately, or maybe it's a key man insurance policy. So those are the type of things you start thinking, or you didn't realize,
Yes.
because that buyer is going to come by and say, all right, hey, it looks like you had a good thing going, and then they find out, well, what if Billy doesn't join us in the acquisition team? What happens if they jump ship?
Yeah.
Then that value of that company, goes down. So that's that, again, the risk management kind of starts thinking, all right, how do I see myself and my organization living on? So it's that, post-transition plan.
Yeah.
I think that helps, if you have a good risk management team, not just one person's in control of that machine, not one person's control of that process. You got a team of individuals that bodes well. Because, if you're buying a company and something happens and you didn't realize, well, hey, that guy that did that, he was
Yeah.
worth a lot more than it showed up on a balance sheet.
Yeah, I've had situations like that happen in the past with clients who were caught unawares. So one more question.
Yeah.
For the listener who would like just a few tidbits from you on what next steps might be, what would you say they should do besides contact you, of course?
Well, thank you. I think the biggest thing is start looking at their contracts.
Yeah.
What are they? I mean, the insurance policies are following that contract. Do they have good safeguards, and they have indemnity agreements? Are they capping their exposures? Look at their loss runs. Look at, are they having claims in workers' compensation? Is it a machine? Is it a particular job? Is it a particular task that they're starting to see claims, right? I think a lot of it has to do with just how proactive are they in seeing where their company and what their opportunities are, right? So if they're making a little screw that used to go into a door hinge, and now that screw is going into a medical device, is their insurance kept up with it? Is their contracts kept up with that, because or making sure that they know what their contract or their customers are requesting of them. We started seeing, yeah, we need this certificate of insurance go out and these insurance requirements, and somebody's signing off on additional insurance, somebody's signing off on waiver of subrogation, somebody's signing off on contributory non-compliance type stuff, and those type of things can come back and bite you, because you signed the contract and you didn't look at that contract and what it means to your insurance and risk management program. So being diligent in what your customers are asking you and what you're doing for your customer is very important.
And that's the kind of work that you do too, right? I know you're not just selling the insurance, you're actually
Right.
assessing, right? You're kind of walking with the owner. I know you're a trusted advisor for your clients. You've been doing this for so long. So just want to say thank you for being on the show, Shaylin. Great content, great advice. Obviously, we could go a lot longer, but we ran out of time. So
Well, this is perfect. Thank you so much, Julie. It was my honor to be here today. So thank you.
thanks for joining us. Thank you, listeners, for joining us as well. Please do share this with your colleagues and your friends, and join us again next time. We will have Shaylin's contact information in the show notes, and watch for all of that good promo on LinkedIn as well.